Man or do man, he raped
You
he molest me.
Oh.
Yes. I need justice for Pella. Justice, my baby. Carry somebody. Justice for me. They rape me.
How old was she? How old were
It's
you?
like 40 years.
How old were you?
Me, I will be like 12.
This matter is serious matter. Pella, you
Now,
serious?
serious man, I swear to I don't know, maybe my husband did they get problem with daddy. Then I can't go to my friend place. Now, so I go to my friend place. That my friend there, his mommy, no con there at home. Nah, that woman and his mommy friend. His mommy, that his mommy friend can't tell me. Me, I'm watching my phone. I'm watching video on my own phone, JJLU. Then this woman carry me, put me for his head. He can't put my this thing inside one oven. The thing is now oven in my something. It was something. I so automatic on that.
You ran away.
Put her inside her own oven or
Our oven. He carry me. He do me rubbish. That time, man, that's the way he can't do for me. If I can't go school, if I could just sit down like this for class, everybody go to party. Anybody, my kidney will stand another.
You see, these are the kind of stories I come across that literally makes me have a fever. Because unfortunately, in our society, this behavior when it comes to boys has been normalized so much, it's actually frightening. Now, what people don't understand is if a girl came out to say, 12-year-old came out to say that she was assaulted in this manner, everybody would jump. But when it comes to boys, a lot of people look at it as a rite of passage. And a lot of, let's say if he at 12 years old went and told his friends that this is what happened to him, a lot of his friends would laugh. A lot of his friends would call it luck. And they'll be like, oh my God, I wish it was me. But they do not understand the trauma that goes behind an act like this. Any boy under the age of 18, even 20, because I don't know why we keep thinking that just because you're 18, you're an adult and you know how to consent. Any child, any boy under the age of 18 does not have the power to consent, does not have the power to make good decisions. Anything under the age of 18 is straight up abuse. And that abuse will end up structuring that man for the future. We need to learn not to normalize this behavior. Whether it's a girl or a boy, it's exactly the same impact. But the worst part is that when it happens to boys and we laugh about it and we push it under the rug and say, oh, this isn't important, these are the future men of tomorrow. These are the men that will not understand consequences in the future. These are the men that will have a very hypersexual behavior and we can't recognize it. These are the men that will finally become addicted to things like, the films, the magazines, all of that. They get addicted to things like this. We cannot destroy and damage our boys from young and then expect them to grow into strong-bodied men. It is impossible. What a young boy, if you observe the way Pella was talking, he tried to mask his experience with laughter. He tried to put jokes in it just so it makes sense to him. But that, whether you like to admit it or not, that is a boy who went through trauma. And thank God, and I'm grateful to God that when you look at someone like Pella, yes, he might not speak the best English. Yes, he's not everyone's cup of tea. But the boy is actually a humble boy. He's a boy that is very enlightened in certain ways. Yes, he might not have the educational background. But look at the way he even treats Jarvis. Yes, there's some toxic behavior there. I don't know if they do it for the sake of their streaming. But in general, he's a good guy. From what I have observed, we don't live with them, so we don't know. But let's not ever forget that that's a boy who went through trauma. That's a boy who had to deal with. He even explained how when he went to school, he became very hypersexual. Everything was soaping here and there. That's not normal behavior of a child. We need to stop normalizing behaviors like this. We need to stop it. We need to stop praising it. We need to stop laughing at it. I mentioned this months ago I had at a wedding when I was shooting, I had come across some guys, very well enlightened guys and everything. And out of 4 men, all 4 of them told me how either their aunties or their maids had done this activity with them at, I think the most was 14 at that age. And they were all cheering themselves up and like, hey, hey, hey. They felt like it was something good. And I looked at them, I'm like, bro, they took advantage of you. They abused you. They traumatized you. And the way you look at women today is a direct reflection of what happened to you. But even they are now in their 30s and they couldn't recognize the pattern. With girls, it's even worse because this is a situation that occurs like in their minds constantly. At the point your body even starts rejecting you because you've never dealt with that trauma. But we normalize it with men. We laugh about it and we call it rite of passage. I've heard too many men say, oh, they were so lucky this happened to them. Bro, you were too young to understand anything. I know we live in a generation right now that everybody wants to be involved in adult behavior. You see them in secondary schools. As young as 12, they're giving them HPV shots and they're trying to enlighten them of this behavior. Everybody thinks they're cool when they're involved in this action. But if you, let's say you're involved in that action, let it be that you and your age mates decided to do this. Not that your auntie or your maid or whatever, and these things, or your mother's best friend. I don't understand this predatory behavior. It's the same. Women should get exactly the same punishment like men. And I'm sorry, families. You have this in Nigeria, we have this culture of being very strict and not listening to our kids. We undermine the emotions of our children because we think, what do they know? They're just children. But you need to really start listening to your children to hear what's going on with him. Because when they ask Bella, like, did you tell anyone? Did you tell your parents? He's like, so that they will beat me, that they would have beat him up. See, our children are going to mess up, and sometimes our children will disappoint us, but you have to listen to them. When it comes to situations like this of predatory behavior, you must, and instead of punishing them, actually get to the root cause. Actually report these individuals to the authorities. You cannot shove, and a lot of families right now, when they hear about abuse in their family, they shove it under the carpet. Sometimes it's their uncle or their aunties, and you shove it under the carpet. A majority of you would think that, oh, all boys are abused by women. It's not always women too. Sometimes it's the men. Sometimes it's the uncles. Sometimes it's the father's best friends. You have to learn how to protect your children. You can't shove things like this under the carpet and then sit and expect to have a stand-up child in the future. A lot of the assaults we hear of today is because those same men were assaulted when they were children. It's a ripple effect. It happens to them and they become the attackers in the future. We need to stop this behavior, and we need to take it very seriously when it comes to male children also. If you report to the police, even police would laugh at the situation and say, hey, but you're a man now. No. A child is a child. A child should never be assaulted or be put in a situation like that. We need to take boy children as important as girl children because they are kids. They are kids. Your families fail you, the system fails you, your friends fail you, you end up failing yourself in the future. You want strong men for our society? Nurture them from young. Protect them from young. Teach them boundaries from young. Teach them have those uncomfortable conversations with your children, with your boy children. Show them the way. Show them what is right and what is wrong. Because we are creating the future monsters of tomorrow. If we don't understand this, understand it now. I hear Pella's story and it makes me want to cry as much as if I hear a girl's story. It's not a joke. It should not be discussed lightly. It should not be laughed about. It should not be turned into jokes and mockery. Abuse is abuse, whether it's a boy or a girl. Understand that.